It is late, and somewhere in the day's replay, the mind returns uninvited to something said 6 hours earlier at dinner. It was a small gathering, the kind that mattered more than it should have. A partner's parents meeting properly for the first time. Someone asked gently what we did for a living, and the answer came out too fast, too defensive, the words already regretted before they'd finished leaving the mouth. It felt in that instant like the room noticed, like something had shifted, like a small verdict had been quietly reached. And now, in the dark, it still feels that way, as if the moment has been filed somewhere, kept, held against us. But here is what almost certainly happened at that dinner table. Long before the answer came out too fast, too defensive, before a single word was chosen, an impression had already formed. We've all heard it takes 7 seconds to make a first impression. The truth, it turns out, is far less forgiving of the anxious mind, and far more forgiving of everything else. Psychologists at Princeton found that it takes as little as 1/10 of a second to decide what we think of a stranger's face. Not 7 seconds, 1/10 of one. Which means by the time the question was even finished being asked, the verdict, whatever it was, had already been reached. Not because of what was said, because of a glance. So what damage, really, could the next few seconds have done? The partner's mother, who seemed to pause a fraction too long, was she reconsidering us, or thinking about the drive home, or a call she needed to return, or something her own mother once said to her at a dinner exactly like this one, decades ago? The truth is rarely cruel. It's simply this. Everyone at that table was already living inside their own version of the evening, an impression already formed, their attention already elsewhere. Not one of them had the spare interest to revise a verdict they'd stopped paying attention to. Widen the lens far enough, and the same pattern repeats at every scale. Consider a clerk somewhere in the 19th century, a man who almost certainly lay awake some night turning over a remark made at his own dinner table, certain it had cost him something. He is gone now. So is everyone who sat at that table. So is the remark, the discomfort, the entire evening, dissolved so completely that not even his own grandchildren could say what troubled him so much that night. And this is not the exception, it is the rule. Swap the dinner table for a meeting, a classroom, a stage, a text message left unread. The shape never changes. Of the billions of small verdicts humanity has quietly panicked over across every table and every room, almost none survive even one generation. Not because they didn't matter, because nothing this small was ever built to last.
And here is where the same fact, looked at from a different angle, stops feeling bleak and starts feeling like relief. If almost nothing survives, the colleague who saw the mistake in the meeting has already moved on to worrying about their own. The friend who noticed the outfit, the stumble, the awkward joke at the party, is at home right now, replaying something of their own, not ours. Even the photo we hesitated to post, certain it would be studied and judged, will be scrolled past in under 2 seconds by almost everyone who sees it. Then all the energy spent guarding a reputation is being spent for an audience that was never actually keeping score. We have been performing, carefully, for a room that already left. So what does it actually mean to stop performing for a room that already left? Not indifference, not permission to say or do whatever comes to mind, consequences aside. That's a different kind of freedom, and not the one on offer here. Just this. The quiet realization that the only opinion still standing decades from now, in that same dark room at 2 a.m., is our own. So the thing we've wanted to try, wanted to say, wanted to become, the one we've been putting off because of what people might think, is worth pursuing. Because the people we're picturing, watching, and judging aren't really watching that closely. And if we do stumble, if the moment turns out embarrassing after all, it helps to remember that whoever's watching is carrying their own list of embarrassing moments, worried about those instead. Somewhere tonight, someone else is lying awake, replaying a version of the same small moment, the pause that felt like judgment, the sentence they wish they'd said differently. And somewhere else, someone is already forgetting it. Maybe that's the whole point. Not that none of it matters, but that so little of it lasts, and so much of what we've been protecting was never really being watched. Because the audience is made of actors worried about their own performance. Don't forget to enjoy the simple things in life, because it's the simple things that make life amazing. Peace.